Hello and welcome to this new episode of Doing the Most Good in Hampton Roads. My name is Matt Picilli and this is Major Lewis Reckline. He's the Salvation Army Tidewater Area Commander. And today we've got a lot to talk about, and we've got a couple things that are going on locally that we'd like to share with you, including an interview you're fortunate enough to do a couple weeks ago with the Vice President and General Manager of Virginia Natural Gas, Mr. Robert Duvall, as he presented us with a check for energy share. But first, we need to talk a little bit about the disaster in Japan, the earthquake, and the ensuing tsunami. Major Reckline is with us to offer a little bit of perspective as to the Salvation Army's disaster relief efforts across the country and across the world when the Salvation Army responds to disasters. A lot of times, because the Salvation Army is in more than 120 countries and has been in Japan since 1895, that's in fact 10 years longer than the Salvation Army has been in the Hampton Roads area. The Salvation Army can mobilize units very quickly and can respond in a number of different ways. So, Major, if you could just share a little bit about some of the different ways the Salvation Army can respond in a disaster, be it tsunami, earthquake, tornado, whatever.
Right. Obviously, we already have some folks in place, so we already have staging areas in a lot of places that we can get emergency food out, get clothing out, sheets and blankets and coverage, open up emergency shelters for folks that need a place to stay, maybe a mobile kitchen, and offer those in a very short period of time to take care of the immediate need as they rescue people, to take care of the first responders, and to be able to provide immediate counseling at times for those who are bereaved.
Now, I know you've been on a number of disasters in your time with the Salvation Army. Explain the service to the first responders. I mean, that's as important as any service that the Salvation Army provides when responding to a disaster.
Sure. One of the first things I can remember was I served at Oklahoma City after the bombing of Oklahoma City. And a lot of the first responders had friends or colleagues that were in that building when it was bombed. And so one of the things we were able to provide was counseling, to be able to meet their needs for them as they come out of the pit area, to talk with them, just to listen to them or give them some sage advice. Also, they get very thirsty and very hungry, so we were able to provide Gatorade. I mean, what you and I think of Gatorade in a situation like that becomes a big deal. Mm-hmm. A candy bar, just a Snickers bar as they're coming out to replenish themselves a little bit, get some more energy to be able to go back in there and continue to work. So sure. It's a very different kind of care, because it is not, at most times, their disaster. They're just there to help, but they're affected by it in a lot of ways also.
Now, the Salvation Army International Headquarters has dispatched a small delegation of representatives, officers, staff, and soldiers alike to Japan to provide some reports and photos and video of the Salvation Army's relief there. And some of these images that you're seeing now are just AP video of some of the footage from the tsunami and the earthquake. So we'll look forward to and hopefully be able to share some of those Salvation Army images with you in the future. That footage that you see there is very difficult to look at, and we opted not to provide the audio for that as well because of some of the screams and things that you are hearing from the background and the destruction. And you can see what those waves of the tsunami does to boats and to things that are in its way. It literally runs through them, over them, gets past them as if they were not even there. Major, there's been so much destruction that it's difficult to get a lot of places, and some of those lines of communication have been severed. How important is it that they be reestablished so that responders know where to go and what to do?
It's very important, because you don't know how many people are affected in that area. You don't know what kind of assistance is needed in that area. So what we're able to provide to them will be communicated to us from someone who has the ability to get to us. And it will allow us to know exactly what we need to bring to that affected area and what kind of attention needs to be given to particular people or particular places. And obviously without that communication, we could just be riding around looking to serve someone when there may be a large group of people who are segregated in a certain place and not getting the type of, especially when you think of medical needs. Yeah. If we can get someone there who can help them. And fortunately, because the Salvation Army is in a lot of these places already, it's easier for us to communicate and get other people in there because of the work that we do. So communication to us is key because it may help more than just feeding someone.
And as Major said, because the Salvation Army is established in more than 120 countries, it is easier to get established communication, establish relief efforts, as well as provide support to those relief efforts. Right now, the best way to support the Japanese earthquake tsunami relief is monetarily. So you can go online to donate.salvationarmy.org and donate that way. Or if you're more of a mobile user, please text the word Japan, Japan, to 80888. Confirm with yes, and that'll make a $10 donation that'll be on your next cell phone bill. Also, if you'd like to make a phone call, call 1-800-SAL-ARMY. Right now, we were fortunate enough a couple weeks ago to be able to do an interview with the Vice President and General Manager of Virginia Natural Gas, and they provide a lot of support to us in this area for the folks that come through our doors seeking assistance with their gas bills where they may have fallen behind due to a layoff or other circumstances. So we had a chance to talk with Mr. Robert Duvall. We hope you enjoy that, and Major and I will be back in a minute. Thanks. Hello, I'm Matt Pachilli, and today we are at Virginia Natural Gas. We've got a great lobby setting right here. This is the lobby of the new Virginia Natural Gas building off of Independence Boulevard in Virginia Beach. And today we're very fortunate to be joined by Mr. Robert Duvall, who is Vice President and General Manager of Virginia Natural Gas. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Energy Share program.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about, just explain the program a little bit?
Sure. Energy Shares is a program that our customers can contribute through their bill to the Energy Share program that the Salvation Army can then use to help folks that are having problems with their meeting their energy bill payment.
And this year, we have a check. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think we have a check for, $109,000, which is just tremendous. And, we're here to be able to say thank you on behalf of the Salvation Army and our staff that administers the program, but as well as the families that are able to receive assistance from it. Just explain a little bit about how the Energy Share program does help families.
Sure. Well, recently, Matt, we have a client that has 4 children, working multiple jobs to make ends meet, and then her father became ill. And through that illness, she became the primary caregiver for her father and was just struggling with the bills and struggling to make ends meet. And so through Energy Shares, we were able to connect her with through Energy Share, we were able to get her some help, if you will, to make sure that the electricity and the gas stayed on for her in her home.
And that's something that's really important, that the folks that are Virginia Natural Gas customers, that they understand that their support of Energy Share is helping folks like this that are in some of these really difficult circumstances.
That's right.
For them to overcome. And so I know that all of our clients that receive Energy Share funds to assist with their bills are thankful for that. What are some of the other ways that Virginia Natural Gas recommends that some folks try to save money and help with their bills?
Well, exactly. One of the things is to help keep bills low. And one of the things that our customers can do is qualify for a thermostat, a programmable thermostat. And through use of this device, you can actually help lower your heating bills and save energy through lower energy bills. This is available. It's free to our customers that qualify, and is a great way to conserve. For our company, it's really an honor and a privilege to work with our customers and to augment what they give through Energy Shares to be able to present the check today to Salvation Army for over $109,000.
Welcome back, and great thanks to Mr. Robert Duvall for taking the time to talk with us, and all the folks at Virginia Natural Gas for making their contribution that helps us provide the Energy Share program to the clients that are coming through our doors seeking assistance with that. In the past couple of weeks, the Salvation Army has spent more than $6,000 to assist folks with paying those gas bills. So it's very important, and there are a large number of families that are affected by that. So please, if you are a Virginia Natural Gas customer, support the Energy Share program. It does a great deal to help a great many families. Now, Major, there are we just heard 3 teams of Salvation Army officers, soldiers, staff that are providing assistance in impacted areas and assisting with the evacuation of some folks from the nuclear power plant zone. What are some of the assistance and services that they're likely providing to those folks that have been evacuated?
Well, they provide immediate shelter, sometimes long-term shelter, meals, clothes, medication when necessary, and just help them to get oriented to the fact that they're displaced at this point, get them comfortable, offer some counseling at times, and then it would transition from there into whether they're able to go back to their homes, because it could be that their homes were destroyed, or if it's affected by nuclear fallout, even no matter how small, maybe that they're not able to go back in there. So then the Salvation Army will find ways to help them find permanent housing once again, keep their families intact, and then just be there for them when they need someone to just kind of lean on.
Thousands and thousands of people affected by the effects of the tsunami and earthquake on the nuclear power plant there, and so much service needing to be provided to those folks to test for radiation, and as well as to provide the services that they need when they are at a Salvation Army shelter. Now, Major, as we wrap up the show and we wrap up some of the initial response to the Japan disaster, let's just talk about some of the ways that folks can support. And one thing that everybody can do is pray.
Right. Obviously, they need a lot of prayer. I mean, some folks don't even know where family members are. Some folks aren't sure what their future holds right now. It's a very scary time. And for anyone who's gone through any kind of disaster, no matter how small, at that time of your life, it's the biggest thing that's occurring and the most important thing that's occurring. So, offering a prayer for these folks, lifting them up in prayer is going to be very important. Obviously, the only other thing they could probably do right now would be a monetary donation. It's not very safe, or even it wouldn't be allowed to send commodities over there, to send clothing over there. There are a lot of issues, especially going from one country to another, and the fact that the shipping would not be a feasible thing at this point. So right now, as you talked about earlier, the numbers they can text to or check to the Salvation Army. And if you write a check to the Salvation Army, please make sure you put that in a memo portion that's for the Japan disaster, so it goes to the exact location where it needs to be. And we'll forward that on for them, and the Salvation Army will be able to assist more folks.
If you'd like to keep updated with the Salvation Army disaster relief efforts, you can continue to come back here at salarmyhr.org. Also, our national headquarters has a blog that is blog.salvationarmyusa.org, which will be posting daily photos, stories, and updates on the Salvation Army's relief efforts in Japan. If you'd like to make a donation, you can go to donate.salvationarmyusa.org, and a donation of any amount is very helpful. If you'd like to do it by mobile phone, please, the keyword is Japan, Japan, to 80888. Confirm with yes upon sending that text message, and $10 will be added to your next cell phone bill. Also, if you'd like to make a telephone call, that number is on your screen, and it is 800-SAL-ARMY. Thanks so much to Major Reckline for joining us, and thanks to everyone for their thoughts and prayers of those in Japan. Thank you.